Hi. Sorry, I'm out of breath. Can you help me get into a place where I feel tuned in, turned on, tapped in?
Well, we want to begin by saying you lighted up pretty bright there. That's how we are finding you. If you have something that you're focused upon, so the energy is moving strong, and there's not resistance that is muting you, then you light up in a way that makes it easy for us to find you. And that just happened. So we would like to start by saying, if you weren't in the vicinity, we would not have found you in the way that we did. So how does that feel?
Really good.
And that is, in fact, the way that you increase that, is by watching for the evidence of the alignment. Because if you feel that you need to find something that you haven't found, now the emphasis is upon what you haven't found, and you can't get there from there. But if you are acknowledging the evidence that is evidence of what you are wanting, and you amplify that, that's the way you get there. That was easy, wasn't it?
Kind of.
Why not easy? Wasn't that logical on every level? If you hadn't been in the vicinity, we wouldn't have found you. So there you are. So now are you going to argue for your limitation by saying, but I'm not there very often?
No, I think I was looking for an example of when I've been there, or how
just
I can
now.
get...
Just
okay.
now.
Okay.
Just now. Cool. Just now. That's the interesting thing, isn't it? How can you miss something that's happening now? Well, because I was remembering other things. And here's why what just happened. Your question is pulsing within you.
Yeah.
And the answer is pulsing within us. And the vibration of the question and the vibration of the answer are different frequencies. And so sometimes when you ask the question, even though we're giving you a brilliant answer, you can't hear it because you're still in the question mode. So we'd like to throw it back to you. Can you give us examples of when you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on?
I think I feel it inside sometimes.
Well, how would one know? What's the evidence of alignment? We're going to stay here for just a moment. What is evidence of alignment?
I think for me specifically, there's been times where I kind of inside feel like, yeah, I'm on fire. It's all going great. And for me, it's energy.
The evidence is emotion.
Yeah.
And of course, we would say alignment is happening anytime you're not feeling negative emotion. In other words, contentment is evidence of alignment. Passion is evidence of alignment. Enthusiasm, bouncing off the wall enthusiasm, yes. Eagerness is. That feeling of exuberance, it's that feeling of yes, it's that feeling of well-being. All of that, those are evidence of alignment. Do you ever feel any of those things?
Yes.
And so is your question, what is your question then?
I've got it.
If you feel that and you know it when you feel it. So was your question more, how can I always be there?
Yes.
You can't. You can't always be there. Is your question, should I always be there? No. If that were the case, you would have stayed here with us. You said, I'll go into contrast and I'll deal with it. I'll know what to do about it. I will manage it. I will benefit from it. I will benefit from knowing what I don't want as much as I benefit from knowing what I do want.
Yeah.
And I will no longer reside, as most humans do, predominantly in a step one mode. Yeah. I'll ask and then I'll expect it to be given, and I'll watch for the evidence of it. And when I see the evidence of it, I will acknowledge it. I will run it into the ground. I will tell my friends, I had the best time. I did this and I did this and I felt this way and I felt this way and I felt this way and it was wonderful and I felt this way and I felt this way, until they say, shut up.
That kind of happens.
I feel so good. But you see, this alignment is not like a college degree where once you achieve it, it's yours forevermore. It either is or it isn't in the moment. And you can tell whether it is or whether it isn't. And now you know what to do if it isn't, don't you?
Yes.
And the more you do it, the easier it will become. And there will be those things that sort of feel like they are kind of sneaking up on you and catching you off guard every now and again. But all that means is you've got some residual beliefs that are not in harmony with what you truly know. So it just gives you an opportunity to sort of work the bugs out of it yet a little more, you see. It's so much fun. This is the way you mold the clay. This is the creative clay. It's the thoughts and feelings that come in response to the thoughts. So you think a thought and you feel how it feels. So just play with it for a little while if you want to. Think about your mother and feel appreciation for her giving you an avenue into this time-space reality. Just try to feel a little bit of appreciation for that and feel how it feels. And then remember your teenage years. And how hard on you she was and how she didn't understand. And notice that you can look at the same person from perspectives of your choosing, and you can find reasons to align and reasons to not align. In other words, you can find things that the source within you agrees with and things that the source within you doesn't agree with. So we're not wanting to make your question seem unimportant, because it is. One day, not long ago, a woman was sitting out there, and she had been eager about getting into the hot seat. We were actually not that aware of her. And she had, by her later description, a really, really powerful question, but she was invisible to us because her energy was so disjointed. She just had this important thing that she wanted to talk about, and she was nowhere in the vibrational vicinity of it. So as the day went on, as it has today, and she listened to more of our rambling and listened to more of our logic and began resonating with more of the knowledge that is within her and came more and more to alignment. All of a sudden she lighted up. There she was. There she was. So easy to see. In fact, the only person in the room that we could see for just a moment. So I pointed in her direction, and up she came. And when she sat down, her opening words were, "I cannot remember what I wanted to talk with you about." And we said, "Do you know why?" She didn't know. We said, "Because the question that you had active in your vibration when you left home, the question that you had written down, the question that you wanted to ask from your place of not knowing the answer, was so strong within you that you have been flailing about, wanting to get into the chair. And it wasn't until you got into the vibrational vicinity of who you are that we even saw you. And in that vibration, you can't find that old question. It's no longer relevant, you see. It's not active within you. It doesn't matter." And so that's why the past, present, and future question was so meaningful, because it does not matter where you've been. It only matters how you feel right here and now. You have a relationship right now with everything that you have become. And we're not saying you have a relationship with yet unfulfilled desires. That's not what we said. You have a relationship with all that you have become. That means all of those relationships and all of those manifestations and all of those creations, all of that abundance, all of that wealth, all of that sense of well-being, all of that sense of recognition, all of those future projects, all of those relationships, all of those families that you feel are in your future, all of those things that you often feel are unfulfilled are not only not yet fulfilled, you have already become them vibrationally. So how do we say whether you're living the past or the present or the future? When you're in alignment with what's in your vortex, you're living what you could call future manifestations, but they don't feel like future manifestations because in your vibrational harmony with them, you feel as if you will feel once they have manifested. That's the thing that if we could zap you with an understanding as you walk out of this arena today, that's the thing that we would most like you to take with you. We would like you to take a sense of ownership of that which has already become, so that you could then enjoy the surprising and delightful ways that what has already become begins playing out in your experience. We would like you to feel your abundance so that you recognize it as it flows to you. We would like you to feel your intelligence so that you could recognize it as the clarity comes. We would like you to know your perfection so that you're not shocked when good things happen to you. We would like you to feel often the love of Source that radiates through you, so that it doesn't feel like you have to work to appreciate the beauty of those around you or the beauty of your planet. You are vibrational beings. You are extensions of Source energy. You have the ability to tune your frequency in ways that you have not commonly been practicing. But as you start practicing it, you're going to feel really good. So it feels to a lot of you like we're having this conversation, because your questions often are, I want to be over there. I'm over here, but I want to be over there. How can I get over there? And it probably sounds to you like we're saying, you already are over there. And that's so annoying to you, because you don't feel like you are already over there. So your questions are posed to us like, how can I get from over here to over there? And our answers just must sound crazy to you when we say, you already are over there, or the larger part of you is. So then you want to say, well, how do I get the rest of me over there? And we say, by caring about how you feel and nothing else. By caring so much about how you feel that you're willing to let go of thoughts that don't feel good. Esther has said to us, but Abraham, I know you don't want me to think that thought because I'm complaining about it. And I know that you think that I shouldn't think that thought, but I just want to say just this one last thing, Abraham, that it's true. This thought that I'm thinking is true. That did happen and it shouldn't have. And we say, there are plenty of things that are true that you don't want to experience, and plenty of things that are true that you do want to experience. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we'd sort of sort them out and focus upon the things that are true that we do want to replicate in our own experience. But there's another really big piece of this that we are on the verge of explaining to you in a way that you just can't miss it. And that is, so much of what you say, a lot of what you're feeling that you haven't said, but so much of what you say is absolutely accurate. That shouldn't have happened, or that is a disgrace, or that was a scandalous thing, or that shouldn't have gone that way. In other words, you're right about it, but you're vibrationally off. And that's the sentence that we would like you to sort of play through your mind a little bit. I know I'm right. I know I'm justified in how I feel. I know I am, but I'm vibrationally off, because this negative emotion that I feel is my indicator that I am. And then just say to yourself lovingly, and I just can't get there from there. I just can't get there. Feeling like I feel, I cannot get to where I want to be. There's just not enough action in the world. There are not enough considerate people in the world. There aren't enough people who will move things around for me to buck my current. Law of attraction is responding to my current over which I have complete control. And I haven't, frankly, we love you very much, we're speaking on your behalf, I've not been deliberately exercising my vibrational control that much. I've been mostly just looking at what is and offering a vibration about it, and then complaining about it, and then joining together with others to talk about it, and then wondering why I can't get over there to that better feeling place. And the only reason I can't get over there to that better feeling place is because I've got a vibration going on about the place that I'm standing, and so I'm not really stuck, because things are always in motion, things are always changing, but it's just changing to more of the same. Why won't it change to something different? And we say, you've got to change to something different vibrationally. You have to find a different vibration. And when you do, the evidence is going to be so joyful. You know how much fun it is to recognize that you've got some negative emotion and take ownership of it. I've got negative emotion. I do. I've got negative emotion. I've worked really hard to feel this bad. I've talked to a lot of people about it. I've focused upon this problem. This has been an issue for most of my life. I have earned this negative emotion. And in the process of earning this negative emotion, I've launched rockets of desire that have taken me vibrationally, the whole of me, so far beyond that all of this negative emotion that I'm feeling is nothing more than an indicator of how far the larger part of me has gone while the rest of me has lagged behind. Ooh. Don't you like knowing that? We like you knowing that.
Thank
Enough?
you. That's perfect. Thank you.
We're going to wrap up with this third row. Do you know that you are the creator of your own reality? Do you believe that you can do something about the vibration that you are offering? Are you happy about the emotions that let you know what you are doing with the vibration of your being? Do you know that there are two ways to know what's manifestationally in your future? One is the way you feel. The next is what manifests in your future. In other words, those are the only two ways. You can tell as it happens and as it happens. And is it not always happening? Isn't your grid filling in with manifestations constantly? Isn't the absence of what you want a manifestation too? It's a manifestation of where you're living, isn't it? So aren't you always getting exactly what you're doing vibrationally? And don't you love that? And don't you love knowing that if you're getting something different than what you want, that you can do something about it? Do you feel sort of empowered to do something about it? We're glad that one guy came, yeah.